everyone. My name is Ayupita, and on behalf of BINUS Business School, I offer an apology for being late. We're having a slightly technical difficulty, so I hope everyone is willing to wait because we have a great session today with Bapak Christopher Sada from PT Artikraft Indonesia. I hope everyone is doing well. How's everybody? How's Pak Chris? Hi, Pak Chris. We're still working on some of our technical issues, so I hope everyone will bear with us for just a few more minutes. Thank you so much.
Can you help? Can you hear us? Hear me?
Yes, Pak Chris is a bit having some echo, but we can hear you.
Okay, let's try again. Check. Can we reduce the echo? Can we reduce the echo? Is that?
Yes. Yes. Sounds great. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Pak Chris. Yeah. Before we begin, I'd like to give you a little bit of the house rules for today. I hope everyone's microphone is on mute, but please turn on your video during the session. For BINUSian students, you need to change your display name with the following: your name and your full name, and then your class. An example would be on the screen next to me. And then during Q&A, you can type your questions in the chat columns, or you can raise your hand so I can call your name directly. Okay. For the SAT, points are rewarded to BINUSian who participate for at least 80% of the total duration and complete the exit ticket that will be given at the end of the session today. Okay, I think that should be all for the guidelines. And then we will continue to remind you of what the guidelines are during the whole sessions. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Pak Christopher Sada. Hi, Pak Christopher.
Presentation with you. Let's spare a moment.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we could. We can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, you guys see the PowerPoint?
Yes. Thank you, Pak Chris.
Okay, let's start. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Good morning, Ibu Dahlia dan Ibu Ayu. Thank you, especially for Ibu Dahlia, who's inviting me to be a guest speaker here to discuss about discovering business opportunities, especially in the export sector. Okay, I would like to start with in the global level, in the macro level, which I share a little bit of information here regarding Indonesia total export. We are doing 163 billion US dollars in year 2020, and that figure increased like 41.8% into 231.5 billion US dollar in 2021. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about the different sectors here in 2021. We can see that from the least amount is the agriculture, which represents about only 2% of the total export. I think that sector is still underperforming, and it could be a great potential if we can develop that sector. And then the next bigger one is the oil and gas, which represent about 5% of the total export from Indonesia. And then mining represents 16%. But the biggest piece of pie, the majority, is coming from manufacturing sector, which accounts for 76% of the total export from Indonesia to abroad, to different countries. Okay, Artikraft is in the manufacturing sector and especially the handicraft sector, which I would share with you in this slide that the handicraft export for year 2020 is about 268 million US dollars, and there's also another significant growth, which is about 37.5% to around 368 million US dollar in year 2021. So I think in this particular industry, handicraft industry for export has got some really good potential in the future and a huge growth. I know that because we supply to IKEA, and I don't have the slides of the IKEA figures, but I just share to you in speaking terms, and it's IKEA alone in full year of 2022 is buying approximately 151 million euros of handicraft, and the bulk of the purchase comes from Vietnam, which is about 55% of their purchase comes from Vietnam, and then followed by China, which is about 30% of their purchase, and Indonesia is the third one, is 11%. So I very optimistic that the handicraft export from Indonesia can grow at a bigger potential for the future. Okay, where do we export the handicraft? So these are the top 10 destinations for handicraft export. As you can see, the top 5, we got the United States, and then the Netherlands, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, and down the ranking, I'm kind of surprised about the Korea, which is in the 8th place, and I think that's also a good market that we can attack in the future for handicraft export. So I'm moving on to explaining a little bit in details about our company. So PT Artikraft Indonesia, we design, we manufacture, and we sell handicrafts and household furnishings. We focus mostly on producing high quality products and made out of bamboo and other natural fibers. So later on, I'm gonna talk more about the raw materials that we use, and we have a factory in Tasikmalaya in West Java, and our customers, like I mentioned before, is like IKEA and H&M Home and many more. And we currently focus more on export. We don't have very little sales in Indonesia, but we are mostly focused on export. And we are a fairly young company. We just started in 2016, and since our inception, we have a vision that we want to use highly renewable raw materials, and we use efficient, eco-friendly production in our factory to manufacture excellent quality handicrafts and home furnishings. And our vision also is to strive to sustain our natural resources, and we also want to empower our surrounding communities around the factory and to become a leader in the global marketplace in the handicraft industry. Okay, I'm going to start with our raw materials. We believe in using highly renewable raw materials so we can maintain sustainability. And to give you like a good insight about the materials that we use natural fibers such as mendong grass, or you can call sedge grass, and that can be harvested in 3 to 4 months. Or pandan leaves, which also can be harvested 3 to 4 months, which is a very quick harvest time. And then we use bamboo. Bamboo is fast-growing. It's actually a type of grass, but it's actually which grows very fast and very big in a short amount of time. And the harvest time is around 3 to 4 years. So if you compare to some other wood or tree that we use for the furniture is, for example, Albacia is about 6 to 8 years in terms of harvest time. And if you want to talk about teak wood, which is a longer, very long harvest time cycle, which is around 80 years. So we focus more on the highly renewable raw material resources, so we can keep the sustainability going, and we have a balance between what we take from the earth and we give back. So we also do plantation, and I would explain later how we do the plantation. And then moving on to production method and facility. So we believe in our factory to have always striving for efficiency. And what we use in our factory is a lot of all eco-friendly materials, such as like the chemical treatment or the lacquer that we use is safe and suitable for use in the household setting. So we want to ensure that our products have a high quality and also safe and suitable for and use in the household settings in the homes of our customers. And but the most important is here is that we are actually disrupting the industry, the handicraft industry, especially by industrializing the bamboo handicraft. I would like to explain in more details on how we disrupting the industry, which, as you can see here, this is the traditional production method in home weaver site, where they cut the bamboo poles and then split them, and then after they split them, as you can see, it takes a very long time, and then they create bamboo slices from this. There's a little bit of. Okay, so this is how they create the bamboo slices. After they create the bamboo slices, as you can see in the picture, they dry it under the sun for a long period of time, and then from those bamboo slices, they turn it into baskets like these ones that you see here on the inside in front of you. And okay, so what we're doing, we move away from the traditional production method into something more massive with economies of scale. With what we're doing, that we're replacing the manufacturing of bamboo slices with machineries in our factories, and then we have an oven, a big 100 cubic meter oven to dry the bamboo slices, as you can see here in the picture. And here's the flow chart, how the industry of bamboo handicraft that we're doing here in Artikraft. So we take the raw materials, and we turn the raw materials of bamboo poles, and then we go into the factory and we cut them, we split them, slice, steam, dry, all using machineries. And then what comes out is the work in progress materials, which is bamboo slices. So these bamboo slices, we took them, ship it to the home weavers, which is over here. We have a lot of home weavers around surrounding the factory, And in the home weavers, they shape it into baskets, and after they finish with the baskets, they ship it back to our factory to be finished in terms of putting lacquer and then packing, and then also final inspection for eventually export out to different countries. We have regularly containers coming into the factory to ship out the finished goods. So I want to focus on the home weavers as our partners. We are also a believer in creating opportunities for local artisans. Having a long-term and ethical, responsible relationship with our partners, our home weavers, and we would like to partner with the local communities so they can upgrade their standard of living, and in the end, develop their human capital. This is how we develop their human capital in terms of all the home weavers that partner with us. This is what we are doing right now. We are restarting the dormant handicraft industry, which was hit by COVID and other reasons that now we're starting over, and then we giving a lot of work to more than 1,000 home weavers around Tasikmalaya. And in the immediate result, as you can see in the slide below, is the increase their income and their standard of living right away. And then we are training them how to make quality products by international standard. We also do training for the young workers, like, for example, the one that are just graduated from SMK high school, and we train them to weave. So we have the immediate impact on that is the urbanization, where the young workers, the fresh graduates, doesn't have to go to Bandung or to Jakarta area to find jobs, but they can stay in their home, stay at their home and their environment to have work done with us as home weavers. And then for the existing home weavers, we train them with finance skill, with tax skills and management skills, so they can become small to medium enterprise entrepreneurs. That's the result of, and in the end, we have a human capital development in our area for especially the partners. Our partners are home weavers. Okay, so like I mentioned before, we've been in business for 2016 until now. We have learned a lot, and from the experience, the past 6 to 7 years experience, and I think I would like to share a few of these key success factors that help us to be what we are right now. So first of all, I want to share that when I first started, I assembled a team with experience in the handicraft industry. So that is most important. I have a colleague of mine who has more than 15 years of experience in the handicraft industry, and that really helps a lot in terms of operational and context with the partners and the weavers. And then another colleague of mine is an ex-IKEA production engineer, so he knows the requirements that IKEA really want in terms of the supplier and the certifications that we need to have and all that stuff. And also the partners that we initially partnering with, like the home weavers that we're partnering with, is also the ones that are experienced in bamboo weaving, so we can make quality products. So that's one, the first key success factor, and I think it's very important in terms of if you guys want to start your own new business or opportunities, and that's one, I think, the most important key success factor. Okay, the second one is that we are developing the products. Our products, our quality is backed by technology. So we always do research on how we can improve our products. And one of the success that we did was that we are first in Indonesia to export bamboo handicraft, because bamboo products is really vulnerable to mold and insect. And what our team did is that we successfully developed a treatment, eco-friendly treatment, that can mitigate the problem and stop the growing of the mold and the invasion of insect. Of course, the process also plays a key role in terms of having the products being heated in dehumidifier room, and it's also important, the process. And as you can see here, these are the products that we supply to IKEA, which is a bamboo basket of Saluding 30, and there's another one is Saluding set of 2. This is we export to IKEA stores in Europe and Middle East and different parts of the world. Okay, the next key success factor is the less for me to share, but it is the most important: the supply chain management analysis. As you know, supply chain management is about how you can get the raw materials, turn it into a product, and deliver your product to your customers, your end customers. So as you can see in the picture there, there's a cycle of raw material, supplier, manufacturing, distribution, retail, location, and to customer. So in our case, we are gonna focus more in the from raw materials to manufacturing, because on the marketing side, IKEA or H&M Home is doing their part for the supply chain management. So on our side, we find that securing a steady supply of raw material at a constant price is very important. So what we're doing to secure that is to have farmers in the local area to grow mandong. We give them seeds to grow, and then after they become big and it's time to harvest, we ask them to give the harvest to us, or we pay the harvest for them. And this is a good program that we do to have a steady supply of raw materials at a very fixed price. Okay, so the next one, I think location is very important in terms of having reduced the cost of transportation. So from raw materials, where the raw materials are, to transport to our factory, that has a lot of cost, that has cost also. Also from where the work in progress process materials such as bamboo slices to the weavers, there's a transport cost as well. So we have to very aware of the cost of transportation and how to manage efficiently the transport cost, so we can deliver product at a good price for the customers. And finally, this is the one that also important, is to identify inefficiency along the supply chain. Like what we did, that we identified the efficiency of using a traditional production method with the home weavers doing their own production of bamboo slices. So we switch that inefficiency and make it efficient, and using machineries in our factory, and have a a large scale of production done in our factory. So this is where we can get a value and a profit for our products, for having disrupting the industry and having creating efficiency along the supply chain. So this is all that I can share about the handicraft industry and our company. And I hope you can learn from what I present here. And once again, I thank you for this opportunity to share what we're doing here in Indonesia.
Thank you, Pak Christopher, for the presentation. I think we could learn a lot from your experience in building Artikraft and building a sustainable company, and as well as building a company that actually focusing on the exporting goods to overseas. We are open for Q&A at the moment. If you have any questions, you can write it down on the chat box, on the chat columns in Zoom, or you can raise your hands and I can call your name directly. While waiting for questions, we have questions from Erin Minjaya. Okay, we have two audience who actually raised their hands. We have Erin Minjaya. If you can unmute your microphones, and then next is Aurelia.
So what's your struggle on first opening the company? Do you have any trouble?
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron, for the question. Yes, definitely. In terms of being a startup, it's very a lot of different struggles. Definitely. I think the most important the struggle that we have is actually building the factory itself, because that is like the most involved, where we have to know what machines that we need to buy, and then the flow of production. Because we are actually, we're disrupting the industry. So there's no other company that has done this before, like making the bamboo slices. So we cannot like copy from somebody else. We just have to, think on our own on how we can have a good setup for the flow of production and the machineries that we use and all that stuff.
Thank you for your questions, Erin. And we have Aurelia, who's raising her hand also.
You have mentioned before about the sustainable growth. I just like to know, how would you maintain, let's say, for the next 10 years about your sustainable growth?
Okay. Sorry, what's your name again? Aurelia asked that how to maintain sustainable growth for the next 10 years. Okay, so sustainability, there's a lot of different factor, or I should say like different point of views. There's sustainable in raw materials, there's sustainability in energy that we use, and sustainable in other stuff as well. So like I mentioned before, for the raw materials, we maintain sustainability for the raw materials by growing our own mendong grass, having the program for the farmers to grow their mendong grass. And then for the bamboo raw materials, we coordinate with the FSC, which is Forestry Steward Council, where we have a technique where we harvest in certain areas, and then we move to different areas and another different areas. So while waiting for the next the harvested area to grow and become harvestable again, so we move to different areas, and that there's a technique how to do the harvesting for all the natural fibers, which is bamboo or rattan or all other different natural fibers. But in terms of sustainability and perhaps the energy that we use, we are planning to install perhaps solar power, solar power cells in our factory, and there is also one of the requirement for the IKEA to become a supplier in the near future.
Thank you, Aurelia. We have Priska raising her hand.
Thank you, Pak Chris, for making your time out of your busy schedule to share your valuable insight with all of us. First of all, my name is Priska. I'm a second-year student of international business major. I noticed that you mentioned the supply chain management before. So my question is, do you have any type of operations and supply chain practices that you specifically use in your company, or perhaps you will require in the future? For example, I would like to know the supply chain capabilities and strategy that you have in mind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Priska, yeah, thank you for the question. I think supply chain management is very important. So we always try to be efficient in the supply chain side, from the raw materials to the manufacturing side. So this is not just something that we can generalize. We have to go dig deep into like the details, such as, for example, the raw materials. We have to like find out where's the closest raw material source that we can find, and then if we can find it, is it capable? Is it able to be has our specification? And then we of course have to analyze how we transport the raw materials, and very concerned about the expenses, especially transportation expense. And also inside the factory, we always also maintain the efficiency in production. So there's another key area that we need to manage in the factory to have efficient production. So, and less and less waste, and so we can get also efficiency. And then we have and then the distribution. Distribution, I think right now, because with IKEA, they are buying Ex Works, which means that they are handling all the logistics. So we haven't had like any in-depth study, because we haven't need to do that part yet, having distribution to the end customers. IKEA has done that, but in the future, and also for other companies in different sectors, I think it's important to find and study the distribution, especially to the customers. You know, especially I think in Indonesia there's a very fragmented market, and how to handle distribution to the customers is very important, and it is also one of the key things so you can reduce the cost of transportation to customers. Of course, I think nowadays it is easier because we have like Gojek and all that stuff. We can deliver the products right to the home right away. Okay.
Okay, Priska. We have a few questions from the chat, Pa. We have from John Mackenzie. He asks, how do you manage the standard when you export the product overseas?
Okay, I'm a firm believer of a QC inline process QC, where we don't actually just QC the final product, like, oh, this thing, passed according to the customer needs. But every process we scrutinize from the beginning, from the incoming materials of the like mendong grass or the bamboos, and then also inline process where we in our factory to manufacture the slices, we keep everything QC in every step of the process. And also in the home weavers area, we even install like dehumidifier, like contraption. So in the home weaver side, there is no there's no mold or insect growing in the products. So we also train the home weavers how to have the always good quality when come back to us in the factory. It's still in good quality, and when we do the final inspection, it's easier for us because the whole process has been scrutinized and quality control from our employees.
Thank you, Pa. We have a question from Yasirwan Uyun Abdal. He'd like to ask if we have a good product, how can we submit the product to Artikraft?
Good product. What is it in terms of design? Design we can do, but if it's we manufacture our products ourselves. So, but if you would like to submit your design, I think we can work partnership with you. But yeah, you can contact our team if you want. But yeah, we actually manufacture all the products ourselves.
Okay. And also we have Gilbert that raises his hand. Gilbert, you can unmute your microphone.
Yes, I'm actually on site.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, Chris, for this opportunity. So first of all, my name is Gilbert Emmanuel from International Business Major, Batch 25. So you mentioned earlier that beforehand, in the drying process and the slicing process, it was done by hand, and then you transitioned it over to machinery and technology.
Yes.
Do you plan to do the same with the weaving process, or are you going to keep it being done by hand? Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question, Gilbert. Thank you. There are some weaving process that we can use machineries, and we have some weaving machine also, but there are other weaving that can only be done by hand. So it depends on the type of product. Then if we can use machinery for the weaving part, then we do. And if we cannot use it, then we have to let the home weavers do it. Yes.
And the next question is from Shantik Alura. The sustainable product market is an emerging and relatively new sector. What is one advice would you give to others who are starting out and would like to thrive in the sustainable industry? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. I think the most important is, I think, quality, like I said before, quality product. I think if you want to start up, you have to really develop the product that is good in design. Functionality wise, it's really good that you can use it, and it's tested to be usable for, years, or depends on the products, as of course. But then the actual thing that you need is to have the technology put inside it. Like I mentioned before, how do you make the product like more improved, better in terms of maybe functionality or design, and that needs I think some kind of technology, and not just and you have to have a differentiation with your competitors. And lastly, if you really want, you start small, but just by selling tens, hundreds, and then once you get the name, the brand name, and people know your products already, then you have to start thinking about scaling it up. Now that's where I think is the supply chain management very important. That's how you scale the product, depends on the supply chain management. I think you need to have raw materials, from raw materials to manufacturing, distribution to end customer, all well thought of and well planned, so you can scale up your business. That's all.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, we have other questions. I saw that you bring a few of your products, right, Pak Chris?
Yeah.
Can you show it to us? Maybe to, because a lot of us are not in the room with you. Do you mind maybe showcase it and explain it to us a little bit?
Yeah, this is a basket, like a laundry basket made out of bamboo slices, and we have a two-tone color of the black and the natural color. And this is our own design, and we manufacture them ourselves too. And then this is another one with the handle. And then we also make bags from, this is mendong grass. Raw material is the mendong grass, and then this is we made in Tasikmalaya. And there's a few others, but our focus is mostly on natural fibers and baskets, placemats, storage boxes, and all the household accessories.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Chris, for showing us some of your products. I think those are really, really, really nice products. And I know that you are right now at the moment, you are only focusing on the export market. Any plans in selling it to the local market?
Yes, in the future. I think we will, once we get everything like settled down with the export market, then we are going to focus on the local market. Yes, and we are trying to have a business plan for attacking the local market done, and it's still we're still doing it. And once we get a business plan and different types of products that we think it's gonna be selling in Indonesian market, then we will launch the products locally in Indonesia.
Okay. We have another questions in the chat columns from Frankie Van Wisley. Hello, Mr. Chris. I would like to ask, how do we get in contact with overseas customers, especially the Artikraft customers, including the big brands such as IKEA and H&M Home? Thank you.
Okay. In my case, I have a team that is already experienced in the industry, so they have contacts from the previous working experience. But if you are not into the industry, maybe you can start going by exhibiting in trade fairs such as Trade Expo, and then maybe IFEX, the International Furniture Expo, and then that's in Indonesia. But if you want to be abroad, and there's a big exhibition called Ambiente in Frankfurt, usually in February, and US also have one in July. So yeah, start going to Expo, and otherwise you just do a guerrilla and finding contacts here in Indonesia, the buyer in of H&M or IKEA or Williams Sonoma and all that stuff.
This is also another good questions from the forum. From Weli Gusnaidi. He asks about your online marketing or your digital presence. The Artikraft is doing now. Is there any specific plan to promote it so you can sell the products worldwide? Are you using website and stuff like that?
For the question, we are doing social media and campaign and also online e-commerce, but we are not very active yet. I think it's good to attack the Indonesian market through e-commerce and online e-commerce and social media marketing. But for export, I think it is harder because there's not like it's harder in terms of retail because you know, there's a lot of regulations to export out to US. You have to be have fumigation and all that stuff. So I think if we really want to export in retail side, say to US, then I think it's best to like open a branch office there. But online, like selling it online, I think retail side is not. I don't think it's feasible.
Okay. It has a different rules and other necessities that you need to comply with, isn't it, Chris?
Yes.
When it comes to retail, yeah.
Yes, every country is different in terms of the rules and regulation in terms of exporting handicraft, especially like natural fiber goods. I know that Australia, you cannot like import wooden products. Even if you bring like a wood product inside your luggage, when you go to Australia, they confiscate it. So yeah, it's very hard to know all the regulations, and it's not feasible to do online retail export.
I see.
Export site, yes.
Thank you. Diana asks questions. Hello, Chris. You previously mentioned Artikraft focuses on exporting your products. How does Artikraft manage the business and maintain a sustainable relationship with each country?
I think it's more of not country, but our customers. We have to keep our customers satisfied in terms of the requirements that they want. Like for us, like H&M and IKEA, they have strict standards in terms of compliance to their quality standard, and IKEA have a go no go system. And then the social compliance side, IKEA have the iWay implemented, and then the global security, supply chain security, which is you have to have GSV, global security verification, or CTPAT, and then FSC for the sustainability of the raw materials. So what they do is they audit us every year for those four certification, and that's how IKEA or the likes like H&M, Home really scrutinize and make sure that their supplier conform to those comply to the certifications and the requirement that they have.
What is the most challenging that you've experienced, Pak Chris, in terms of how exporting your goods? Have you ever experienced any setbacks when especially during the pandemic? For the past 2 years,
Yes.
I think globally it hits a lot of people in so many ways, but being in Artikraft, what was the major setbacks that you've experienced?
Okay, the setbacks in the past few years, 2 years, especially during the pandemic. The pandemic started in March 2020. I remember, and there's a PSBB, which is a lockdown in Indonesia, and we experienced also where we cannot do anything in the Tasikmalaya area. I mean, we still have a little training here and there, but we cannot really do much. And then that's why from March 2020 to say this September or October 2020, we kind of like completely void of activities. But then we started again in October of 2020, and then we ended up able to deliver our first products in January of 2021 to IKEA, and from now it's already growing on a bigger scale. And also another the pandemic really hits us very hard, but thank God now it's already over. But also the cost of logistic went straight to the roof back in during the pandemic. After the pandemic, the freight cost to US or Europe is like multiplied so many times, doubles or triples. And thankfully, IKEA absorbed the cost of the transportation. So we're selling export. So IKEA still, absorb those transportation costs, and we still be able to supply IKEA on a regular basis. And they sell their products to 460 stores across the globe, and they are still doing well. And I kind of have insights in terms of I sometimes join the supplier meeting with them, and during the pandemic they also IKEA expressed a little bit of downturn, but then afterwards, like a few months in the last quarter of 2020, they're already like back to normal, and 2021 is even better for them because they're already growing more than before the pandemic.
Thank you, Pak. Joshua asked questions of what is export credit insurance and how does it help?
Export credit, we are not aware of that. And we don't use them, so I cannot elaborate more on that topic.
Okay. In terms of the strategy for startup market, in your opinion, Pak Chris, do you think it's better to start tests or sell it in the local market first, then expand it to the global market, to overseas, or you just go directly to export? This is the questions from Reynaldi.
I think it all depends on the product, but what is most important is if you really want to export, you have to compete with globally, like China, Vietnam, Philippines, all other manufacturers across the globe. And this is where it comes in, where if your product, I think you have to have your raw materials sourced internally in Indonesia. You cannot have raw materials that is imported from other countries and you export it out, and you make it into a product and you export out the finished product. I think it's harder that way. So you have to choose the sector that you're in, the materials that you use. If you can have a lot of supply of raw materials in Indonesia, then it's easier for you to have export opportunity. But either way, I mean, you can start selling locally first, or you can focus on export. But the most important, again, I said, is the supply chain management and the analysis, the in-depth analysis of it. And if you want to go to export, then you have to really do that homework and really know how you can compete, how your products can compete with other products from like China, for example, or Vietnam or other countries. Okay.
Yeah, because Indonesia is not the only country that actually exported their products. So I think knowing your products, knowing your market is also crucial, right? Before you actually thinking whether you should, export it directly, or you can start locally first.
Yes.
Okay. Few students actually asked if Artikraft open internship positions for this.
I know this is going to come up. Well, you're welcome to send your resume to if you would like to do that.
Okay. Pak Chris, how do you stay creative? Because Artikraft is all about, staying in the creative market,
Yes.
creating creative products, knowing what the market wants. How do you or your designers actually know how to maintain that creativity?
I think we have a few designers. We have 3 actually product designers, and we always work together in terms of developing products that is gonna be the new ones that we are gonna launch. And I think we work closely with designers from IKEA and H&M Home to develop products for them as well, and see what they want and how we can tailor-made to their design and what kind of materials that we use. And for our own products, we also have to study the market, and we always want to adding new products. I think we're moving towards, lampshades made out of bamboo weaving to so it's a future products that we're gonna do and we're gonna launch, and other things maybe like we have a few things in mind that we can do. And yeah, we always keep looking at the marketplace and see what the trend is, what the design trend is, and what the consumer needs in terms of the products mix that they want. And from there we just collaborate in terms of making new products with new designs and stuff.
Okay. Is Artikraft plans to be a B Corp certified company, Pak?
Sorry, what is that? B?
A B Corp certified company. Since you're focusing on sustainability and creating, a global impact, or at least a environmentally impact for your weavers. Are you planning to pursuing to be a B Corp certified company?
Well, I'm not aware of that certification, B Corp, but we have social compliance that we did with the IKEA and H&M Home, and but I'm not aware of the B Corp certification, so we are not pursuing that right now.
Okay, all right, Pak.
Yes.
Oh, Elsia, one of the students asked, can the PowerPoint be shared to the audience?
Yes.
Will that be okay, sir?
Yeah. You can ask Ibu Ayu or Ibu Lily for the presentation. I have already shared.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Pak Chris, how many weavers do you currently have, or Artikraft currently collaborate with in Tasik?
Yeah, right now we have more than 1,000. Not exactly know the exact figure because it keeps changing. And
yeah.
Wow. So we definitely have a huge impact in the local communities and local economy.
Definitely.
So
yeah. Any plans, other than just Tasikmalaya, focusing in Tasikmalaya region?
No plans yet right now. Just focus on Tasikmalaya first, and then perhaps later on, maybe next few years, like next to 5 years, we can expand somewhere else. But no plans right now.
No plans right now. Okay. Okay. Do we have any other questions from? There's no more from in the chat. Anybody else would like to ask questions? I can actually just unmute your mic right now. All right. I think we covered all questions, Pak Chris. I'd like to thank you so much for coming and share your experience today with us. It's been an honor for us to actually hear you first time from Artikraft. And before that, I think I'd like to invite Ibu Dahlia Darmayanti to give a token of appreciation to Pak Christopher Sada.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Ibu Dahlia is my fellow alumni in Thunderbird.
Yeah. Networking.
Yes.
Networking.
Yes. Thank you so much, and very fruitful sharing for us, Patrice.
Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome.
This is not going to be the first and the last. This is going to be continued. Yeah.
Okay, no, it's not gonna be the last one. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we do the group picture right now. Yeah.
Sure.
For the ones in the classroom, do you mind to come and then have a picture together with us in here? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, now,
You will be in outside. Yeah.
Iya, sama-sama.
Maybe
Ya di sini sama.
over here, over here, over here. The light.
One, two, three, and
Ini bisa foto juga.
Ini juga dong. One more.
While we're doing this, I think can we have the exit questionnaires?
Daniel, look at the.
Thank you. Students, you can fill this questionnaires
How many
so that you can have your SAT points and or e-certificate Please fill it in and let us know how we can improve for the next International Professional Week.
Don't steal it.
Si berantem sama Daniel nanti.
Right. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Thank you so much, Pak Christopher from Artikraft Indonesia. And hope to see you soon. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Masih, oke, boleh, boleh.
Saya siapin area interviewnya ya.
Ini pakai itu.
Ini aja dapat ini backgroundnya ini Pak.
Apa?
Ini barang-barang gitu. Oke. Kita bayar.